Well, good evening. I'd like to call tonight's Mid-State Technical College District Board of Directors meeting to order. Angie, roll call, please.
Betty Bruski-Malik.
Yes.
Richard Murden.
Yes.
Linnea Miller. Gordon Shallow.
Yes.
Charles Spargo.
Here.
Ari Vane. Harry Whitmore.
Here.
Open meeting certification. This May 15th, 2023 meeting of the Mid-State Technical College District Board of Directors and all other meetings of the board and/or its committees is open to the public in compliance with state statutes. Notice of this meeting has been sent to news media and designated persons in an attempt to make the citizens of the Mid-State Technical College District aware of the place, time, and agenda of the meeting. Open forum. The open forum is at the option of the board chairperson, and ground rules have been established to ensure the orderly conduct of business. This is a meeting of the district board open to the public and not a public hearing. Persons who wish to address the district board may make a statement as long as it pertains to a specific agenda item. Individuals should not expect to engage in discussion with the members of the district board. The district board chairperson may or may not respond to statements made. Do we have anybody here for that? Seeing none. Action on the April 17th board meeting minutes. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Chuck, a second by Gordy. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Then I'm going to ask for your agreement. We have some people here that we'd like to recognize, and this goes into discussion and where is this?
Yeah,
Discussion and action. If it's okay with the board, we would like to bring item K forward so that these people don't have to listen to me drone on or others. Would that be, do I have to make a motion?
Sounds good. Yep.
Yes.
Or just agreement? Okay. Okay, great. So let's go ahead to item K. Student Ambassador, Mandy. Yeah, I think we saw your picture. Was that in the connector? Yeah, okay, all
Saw her
right.
live.
Yeah.
Saw her live.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I would like to introduce Olivia Schultz. Olivia is a nursing student and our 2023 WTCS ambassador. As part of the WTCS ambassador program, Olivia went through an application process and was selected to participate at the state level in the Wisconsin Dells, where she went through leadership training and then shared her story at the ambassador dinner that I know a couple of you were able to attend this year. So she's going to share that story with you tonight. And I would also like to thank Natasha Miller, who's in the back there. Natasha coordinates our ambassador program and really all things student life and does a great job. So I'm going to turn it over to Olivia.
Yay. So hi, I've met some of you before.
Yes.
My name is Olivia. I am in my second semester of the nursing program, so I have another year to go at Mid-State. I started at Mid-State when I was actually still in high school through both dual credits and Start College Now. That was in 2020, so pretty much immediately I got to join in on the fun, hectic, crazy COVID Mid-State that had to take place. I was able to really get into the student life aspect of it with Vikram. He is enthusiastic about anyone that's willing to join. It mostly started when I showed up to bingo, and I was the only one there. And so the good news is I won. I did win. I got a beautiful prize box sent to my house. And I got just an hour to talk with Vikram about Mid-State and everything you guys had to offer. And I mean, once I started the CNA program through high school, I was pretty much set at coming to Mid-State. Even before that, I decided that I wanted to be a nurse when my Oma was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. She had breast cancer that eventually spread to her liver, and she was diagnosed with 6 months to live. She ended up making it 4 years. And by the end of it, she actually had 11 different types of cancer. She had a very rare gene, and it is in her DNA. So at about 15 years old, I was told that I will get cancer. It is fairly inevitable. My mother already had it while she was pregnant with me. She had skin cancer, and luckily that's all she's had so far. And so that really threw me into the medical world, and I knew I wanted to be a nurse, and I figure as long as I'm going to all these appointments, it was many times a week I would take a study hall just to go with her to her appointments. Might as well ask these nurses where they went, because you can't get a better opinion on what school to go to unless you're asking somebody. Through the 4 years, I interviewed 132 different nurses from all over Wisconsin, from way up north down to Milwaukee. I was asking everybody. And out of 132, 131 of them attended Midstate. And they had nothing but praises to say.
Wow.
They could not encourage me enough. I mean, they were offering me jobs as soon as they heard that I wanted to go to Midstate then. They're like, oh, well, you're going to have to come work here. So you guys are definitely recognized in the community as such a great school. So that's kind of where I led into Midstate itself. And then I kept my head down for the first few years and just wanted to get good grades and keep up my good GPA that I had in high school. But through many more bingo games that were just me, Vikram eventually broke me down and got me to join Student Leadership Board, who helps with student life, and they host bingo. And so he gave me promises that I would be able to host it myself one day. That was just the beginning when I met this wonderful family of people here, and I got to know even more of you. And I really fell into a leadership role because I realized how passionate I was about talking about student issues or just anything in the community, giving people a voice. So I was nominated for WTCS Ambassador, and at first I was actually very hesitant, and I said no to the interview. I knew that I'd be going into my third semester of the nursing program, and it is one of the hardest semesters, and I did not really believe in myself enough. And I just wanted to make sure that Midstate was represented by someone who could give it their all. Eventually, I talked with Natasha, and she kind of just said, you know, the worst that can happen is you don't get the job, or the best that can happen is you do, and you can say no, even if you get it. So I did the interview, and immediately, once the call was ended, I knew I wanted the job. I would have been devastated to not have this position because I could talk for hours about how amazing this school is and everything you do, not only for students, but for the community. It's unlike anything I've ever been a part of before, and I'm so proud that one day I will be able to be a nurse and I will be able to tell people who come in that I went to Midstate as well.
Nice.
Yay.
So proud of you, Olivia. So proud of you. Do you have any questions for Olivia?
I have one. That night and tonight, you said who it was that had cancer, and I couldn't catch the name.
Yes, I apologize. It is Oma. It is German for grandmother. She was actually Polish, so the German is kind of odd because the other side of my family is German. But we have friends from Germany who would visit, so we grew up speaking as much German as we could when they would come around.
Got it. Thank you.
Can I say, we have representatives from Baird here tonight. They sponsor the ambassador program, and I'd like to make a shout out to Baird for your endorsement of these graduates, these ambassadors.
The
Thank you very
support
much.
for that banquet and the scholarship.
And the
scholarship,
yes.
That's phenomenal.
Thank you, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I did not know that I would be getting a scholarship when I went there, and when they told me, I started crying immediately because it is not easy to balance life and school, and then I knew that taking on WTCS would be a whole other ball game, and just knowing that I had someone who had my back financially as well meant so much. And I'm so proud to be going into third semester. I don't have to worry about finances because I've been able to get that help from you guys, and I think it's really going to play a big role in continuing my education and becoming a nurse. So thank you.
You
Sounds
did
like
it.
we're signed up for next year.
You did a great job at the banquet,
That's
giving
right.
your
Thank
talk
you.
You
to
did, you did.
so many people were so nervous and reading a script, and you just went.
I
Ad-lib.
scared Natasha a little bit because she asked me if I brought note cards, and I told her I did, but I wasn't going to read off of them. And she goes, "Is it at least the speech that you emailed me?" And I said, "Nope, I'm just going to talk." And I think it went pretty well. I'm very passionate about what you guys provide for everyone and everything you've given to me alone. I mean, my Oma was so happy when she heard I was going here and when she learned about the simulation center that you guys have built. And that's just one program. I mean, the things you provide for all the other programs and the resources available for students is just unlike any other college you can go to. It's amazing. Thank you. Thank you all for inviting me here to meet all of you is an honor.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Will represent us well.
I hope so.
Okay.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, all right, so we'll go back to item F, which is action on the consent agenda items. We have the payment of bills and payroll in Exhibit B. We have the contracted service agreements in Exhibit C. We've got the procurement for goods and services, Exhibit D. And we have the district board approval of hires and resignations of contracted staff, Exhibit R. I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. And this is a roll call, right?
Gordon Shallow.
Yes.
Charles Spargo.
Yes.
Terry Whitmore.
Yes.
Betty Bruce Malik.
Yes.
Richard Murden.
Yes. Thank you. On to chairperson's report. That'd be me. Thank you for joining us this evening. Ari is asked to be excused. Spring Boards Association meeting, we had that April 20th to 22nd at Gateway Technical College in Kenosha. Betty, Chuck, and I attended. I sent out to the board some notes from that meeting. The elections were held, so we have new upcoming officers for the District Boards Association. We had some system updates. Very interesting in terms of what's going on with the two-year UW sites. And we had and I want to say excellent cybersecurity presentation, and I'm going to have some questions for Brad at some time based on that. Other comments from the meeting?
No, you had a very good summary. Thank you for putting that out.
Yes, you did, and I have just an update from the Board of Directors meeting, and I was just telling Shelley earlier that we had a proposed increase in association dues from each college, which was at 8%. That got whittled down to 5%. I thought it was 5.5, but it's 5%. We're taking 16,000 out of fund balance, interest earnings, and we're looking at sponsorships again. And we have a $3,000 donation for a new computer for the district office. So that technically should have been in a capital budget, but it was in our budget. So we've gone down from 8% dues down to 5%. And I think that was it. Thank you.
Any other major changes? Because I know they were looking at, different budget scenarios and what they might do to.
The coach cost
Right.
will be charged back directly to each college.
Oh, okay.
So that won't show up in the budget.
Okay, I was wondering if they were going to eliminate the bus or not.
No, we decided we're going to keep the bus because it keeps everybody on task.
Well, that never happens. I apologize.
So, good. Yes, so the coaches, that line item will be directly sent back to each college for that cost.
Does
So
that depend on whether the college sent any people, or will it be divided among all colleges?
I think it's on who attends. I'm not sure, or it could be just divvied up between the 16. I don't know whether that was hashed out, but
Okay,
it will be a cost going back, so.
okay.
Everybody was happy with the 5% increase instead of 8%, so
Okay.
it's a little cushion.
ACCT Leadership Congress is coming up October 9th through 12th in Nevada. The theme is Building a Legacy, Uplifting Student and Transforming Communities. Betty and I are planning on attending. Anyone interested should contact Angie to make arrangements. The board appointment process is underway. We have 2 open spots right now, and there are candidates for the employer spot and the elected official spot. Application materials are due no later than 4 p.m. on May 26th. And the mandatory appointment meeting will be Tuesday, June 13th at 5 p.m. Our next meeting date will be Monday, June 19th. And I will be absent for that one. We'll be here at the Wisconsin Rapids campus. Terry?
Thank you.
Okay. And the committee of the whole will follow the public hearing and immediately proceed the regular meeting. On to President's report. Shelley?
Yes, thank you, Rick. So we have 3 individuals that we want to recognize tonight. So would you come to the front, Ed and Sue and Deb? So this is a meeting of celebration, but also kind of bittersweet. So these are 3 individuals, along with one that is unable to be with us tonight, who are retiring. And we wanted to tell them thank you. And I believe when I add up all the years of our 4 individuals, over 75 years here at Midstate, I don't know, we're not going to be the same. I mean, that's really the case. So we have a picture of each of them. So we have Sue Hickey with us. And Sue, oh my gosh, 30 years of service directly in our nursing program. And as you know, this year we had our nursing accreditation visit, which we just received the official letter last week. And we received a full 10 years of accreditation.
Oh.
And Sue served as the program director. And I can tell you the work that she had to do, working with everyone for all of the documentation and the evidence that goes with a site visit, as you know, is enormous. So she's just going to be so missed, Sue. We're so happy for you. But thank you. Thank you. Any words you want to say to the board?
Here, they can hear me. Okay. I just want to thank you all for the support that you give the college and for the nursing program in specifically. The student we had up here shortly, a little while ago, she was the perfect example of what Midstate does for our students and graduates. I know many of you probably, if you've had healthcare at all, you'll run into our students out there, and it's such a pleasure. And you know that you're safe and you know that they're going to provide good nursing care. So I've enjoyed working here, and I kind of hate to go, but yet I'm like, it's probably time, but yet it's been a very good place to work. And I'm very proud of all of our nursing graduates that we've had and what the college has done. So,
Yeah.
so I thank you.
Thank you.
Can you share any plans?
Well, probably not officially, huh? Well, I might consider doing
In your
some
personal-
teaching
in your
down the
personal, yeah.
road, and but otherwise, just kind of traveling and just kind of taking it easy, not having to work 5 days a week, kind of thing. And so,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
You know, Sue and the team, I mean, you know, our nursing program is in that top 5 in the state. And so, oh my gosh, big shoes to fill, that's for sure. Okay, so our next honoree is Mr. Ed. And Ed was our graduation speaker on Saturday and just did a remarkable job and really talked about apprenticeship because he is one of our apprenticeship instructors. And you will see 23 years of service and typically teaches out of our Marshfield campus. So I loved your speech when you talked about, some of you may be thinking, who is this guy? Because they may not have seen you unless they studied in Marshfield. But Ed, you're just a class act. I can't wait to celebrate with you Friday evening. I know Deb and I and a few others of the college are going down because he has been nominated as well for ABC.
Instructor of the year.
Yeah, so I how can they choose anybody else?
Yeah,
I'm
wow.
just telling you, you know? So, talking to those people and we're trying to, I mean, you so deserve this. And I know you have your beautiful wife with you today and your family on Saturday. But again, just thank you. It's been just a pleasure. And I don't know if you have any words you want to say.
Sure. I do have
No,
notes,
go right ahead. Go right ahead.
but Natasha's
No.
gone.
No.
As Shelley said, I had this address on Saturday, but Natasha had a full binder for all of us, so you couldn't lose your place. But I did want to thank the board for their many years of supporting apprenticeship, any apprenticeship programs that might be here at Midstate. As of right now, I think there's 13.
Correct.
The state of Wisconsin's got roughly 50 that are approved apprenticeship programs. And I recently found out that of all the colleges in the state, Midstate is the only one that invites apprentice completers or graduates to attend the ceremony and walk the stage.
Wow.
So that's, again, thank you for that honor. Of my students, I want to share this with everyone. I went back and counted since 1996, 212
Wow.
completed apprentices that went through the ABC program. There's also the IEBW program here at MIDS as well. So now we got two individual programs, all teaching electrical construction. But of the ones that I taught, 13 of those that I know for sure, and there maybe are more, that have gone on to have their own business of electrical contracting. And then of those, now that group is sending their apprentices through our program. So it's the second generation. So it's been going well, and thank you for starting it or approving it way back in the 90s when they first started. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was so neat having one of your students as the student speaker,
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Yep. Spencer's very, very good student, and his family was there. He's part of, married into the business, so that's his connection there.
Wow.
But if you heard his speech, he's been a helicopter pilot,
Right, yeah.
and he climbed cell towers for a few years.
2,000 feet,
So
yeah.
he's had some exciting previous adventures.
Wow. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you. So our
Bless
third
you.
Bless you.
person that we want to honor is the one, Deb is not able to be here today, Dr. Deb Krause. Deb is one of our instructor in behavioral science, so in our gen ed area, has been at the college for 18 years. And when I was talking to Dr. Krause through email, she was also doing some math through her years. And when you think of general education, you have a lot of students per se in every section. So between her and her husband, who also taught here as a part-time faculty, she calculated that they've touched about 6,500 students.
6,500?
6,500
Wow.
through the years, because her husband had also taught here double-digit years. So we just wish her the best as well. And I know that she was unfortunately not able to be here because her son was getting an award for golf. And I think that just says a whole lot about Dr. Krause, and we're going to miss her as well. So then our last person, Dr. Deb Stencil. So Dr. Deb, what can I say about Dr. Deb, right? So really has been, as you know, worked very closely with all of you for the past 5 years that she's been with you, working a lot on programming and accreditation, and really trying to do her best to bring the faculty together for strategic plan and assessment. Again, big shoes to fill here. Definitely leave all four of these individuals, big holes are being left, and know that we're working hard to refill. I know nursing faculty interviews, I think were last week maybe, Sue, and I know, Ed, I don't know if they've started your interview. I know they've posted it, but I don't know if they've done the interview process, and I know same thing, and I know, we know Dr. Severson is going to be following Dr. Stencil, but Deb, you've done a wonderful job. So, thank you.
I too have notes.
And,
I felt pretty strong on Saturday. I don't quite feel that way right now. But
yeah.
I just am grateful for the opportunity to address the board. As I've reflected on my career, I really appreciate all the support that you gave the college, the academic team, and myself personally. I've thought about the last 5 years, right? And some of the things that we overcame. Okay, a few unanticipated opportunities, I'll call them, including a pandemic, right? College accreditation, and certainly assessment of student learning. We've launched new programs. I know I've come to the committee many times. We've launched new programs. We've suspended and discontinued programs that were no longer relevant. We've created academic processes and really that foundation and infrastructure that we need as an academic team. We developed a comprehensive strategic plan that really functions as a living guide to what we need to do as a college to meet our mission and our vision. We've updated classrooms, right? We developed that gold standard classroom technology. We decided to update the classroom furniture and the carpet at the same time, right? I mean, just some subtle things that we've done, I think, to improve efficiency. We've renovated learning spaces to reflect current industry standards, and we have a list, right? From the full Adams campus renovation. I remember that happened shortly after I came when we said, let's just not do a room or two, let's just do the whole campus and get it done. And what a gem the Adams campus is. To our Mid-State Simulation Center, to the new salon and nail tech area, to the culinary kitchen and the gourmet cafe, to our Apex Center for that our faculty now love and go to for their professional development, and now the Yameta Center. We've created those learning spaces that our students need and deserve, and I'm really proud of that. I've appreciated the thoughtful questions that come up in committee. I know, Betty, you've been part of that, I think, since I've been here, because I know that helps us make us better. And as a board, your commitment to the college and our communities is evident in everything you do. And I just, again, want to thank you for your support and the opportunity to serve Mid-State, our businesses, and the communities. And I just know we've done great work together, and I'm just grateful to end my career here.
We had asked Deb to be our community speaker, so she also was able to address everyone. And I think your words, Deb, about, paths can change.
Yeah.
And just, even in your own path, and what an inspiration. So yeah, you might remember a few years ago, we started this where we're bringing our retirees in if they're able to make it. And I don't know how you all feel, but I think it's a really great thing
Wonderful.
to do, because it's a way to be able to say thank you.
Yep.
I mean, you have made Mid-State what it is, and we're going to do our best to not let you down, right? Not to let you down, but
Keep it going.
keep it going. Okay, but on behalf of our board, on behalf of our college, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Okay, gosh, that's always much more fun than the couple things I'm going to share with you here. So, under campus activities, I'll just go through these pretty quickly, but please, if there's something, just interject. 424, so since our last board meeting, which was on April 17th, there has been a lot of activities. This is a very busy time of the year when you think of probably a lot of celebrations and get-togethers. But on April 24th, we had the Phi Theta Kappa induction ceremony here on the Wisconsin Rapids campus, which I believe in the academic committee, Betty, you'll probably be reporting out on that. On May 3rd, we had our special budget meeting, all to prepare for you approving the budget, and a thank you to Gordy and to Craig and Betty and Terry for attending that. That's really where we kind of dive into the detail. And on May 4th, may the force be with you, Star Wars theme, something that I want to call out, our faculty, the new faculty that have come in the last 2 years, came together and wanted to throw a surprise party for the Apex team. To just say thank you for supporting them. And so, Chris, Chris, you oversee that area, but what a touching. So Chris had to come up with a reason to get them out of their area. The faculty got together, they decorated. Chris was making homemade pizza outside. They walked into a dark room with, I think, lighted sword, yes, and just had, just an amazing lunch for our Apex team. And, when we talk about being a collaborative and kind of coming together, that says it all. that 2 years of faculty would come together and say, we really want to thank this group. So outstanding job, Chris. May 5th, Admit Day. So we had 8 different high schools that were invited to come here to Wisconsin Rapids. This is for people who have already been accepted to Midstate. It's really kind of a formal, like, welcome to Midstate. And what a great event, Jackie, that Jackie put on, Mandy. I mean, it's just, I can tell you that, I think, do we have a picture? Did we have a picture of that? No. But I can tell you that those students who are, they come, they're quiet, right? They come with their counselors, they're sitting at a table, and Jackie does such a great job that if you're going to go into Cosmo, you're sitting at a table with either the Cosmo faculty or the dean and other students that are going into Cosmo. Well, after about a half hour, the buzz in the room is just, I know when I walked particularly to the Cosmo students, I'm like, have you seen the salon yet? No. I'm like, oh my gosh, culinary students, have you seen the kitchen yet? No. I mean, by the end, we had AC/DC playing, I want you to know, in the gym, and got a big group picture, and outstanding. And Jackie wants to continue to do that. So, we go to the high schools and do for some of them, please, you're admitted, come, but now this is that official when they come here.
How many? Do you think?
If I had to guess, I would 60.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Really cool. Then on May 9th, I want to definitely mention this. So you will see when we do our wrap up of the year, this is a year where we have so many accreditation visits. You might recall that when we were talking about coming into this year. So we not only had the nursing accreditation visit, which you just heard we got in writing, 10-year accreditation. It does not get any better than that. But we also have had successful respiratory, medical assistant. We submitted our phlebotomy. May 30th and May 31st, we still have HIM coming in, which is our medical coding, and so we've got that one coming. But we wanted to get the faculty together and say, just thank you. Thank you for all your efforts, because all of these programs have program directors that are leading their accreditation work. And so we got them all together on May 9th and over in Marshfield, and that was a very nice get-together. So I think what you're hearing, there's a theme here that we're also trying in times of so much work, making sure we take the time to say thank you and maybe have a dinner together and just acknowledge that. And I think that's going a long way for the Midstate morale. I very much believe that. On May 15th, earlier today, we thanked our student leaders and had a great event in Stevens Point. Thank you, Mandy, for your team to put that together. And Olivia was there again today, and just infectious, and it just so many great things. But this is a week of celebration. So on Wednesday, we are celebrating our law enforcement graduates because they have a nice formal ceremony as well, kind of relative to nursing Penny.
Okay.
Also, paramedic students have a ritual that they go through. We're doing that as well. And then we also have the retirees are coming in. If you remember, we started that a few years ago. So I think we have about 50 people, I'm hearing, for the event. So that's wonderful. So they're definitely continuing to be engaged with us. And we just completed our Department of Justice audit that we had. And that one we also got check that we're doing everything we should. So a lot of campus activities. Community involvement, just as busy. April 19th, had a team over at Pageant Equipment, toured their facilities, and then they came to our Marshfield campus. They have, Jim was their owner who had passed away. And now son-in-law is taking over that business, and we wanted to get to know him. So great. On April 25th, we had a meeting with the Marshfield mayor. Part of it was to let her know what we're doing in Marshfield. So I can tell you, very excited that Marshfield is going to be a focus for us next year. On April 26th, I was up in Wausau, SWIMA, which is that Central Wisconsin Manufacturing Alliance. They had their expo. I was asked to be on the educational panel, so did that to represent Midstate. On May 2nd, Matt Lund, who is the new executive director for the YMCA here in town in Wisconsin Rapids, I met with him. Also serve on that board, but wanted to talk with him about Midstate possibilities and just talk about how we can work together. May 9th, we took a team over to the new Food and Farm Exploration Center, which is that big new building right off of Highway 39 in Portage County, to really talk about how we can partner. And so we're excited. We have some opportunity. We'll be doing a follow-up with them. And then had a SWIMA meeting just last week, and they approved another $15,500 for Midstate for Fuse for Your Future, which is our welding kind of summer camp that we are doing. We had a wait list. We had more people. And so we went back to them and said, hey, would you like to fund another cohort? And they said yes. So over $30,000 that have come our way for these people from a tuition standpoint. You don't get it unless you ask. So we'll continue to do that. And then you may hear, we believe this is the week that forestry and related items are going to be before joint finance.
Oh.
And we believe that there will be a motion that will be made this week in honor of Midstate to have the joint finance approve that $250,000 a year for Meta. So we don't know what the vote will be, but we know that we have a representative from a legislator from the Crivets area that is on forestry who is making our motion. Because keep in mind that that is all part of the paper industry forestry collaboration that we're doing. But we're very honored that they will be voting on that. So when I hear the good news, I will let you know. We believe that if it does pass, we don't believe the governor would take it out because the governor had put it in his budget. So we just have to hope that the votes are there. So keep in mind the other allotment that had gone, the governor had for the Madison College has already been taken out. So if we would get this, we would be the only technical college that would be receiving an allocation. So that would be quite an honor.
Wow.
Wow. And then the last thing for WTCS updates, Presidential Association things. April 19th, Deb had taken that team up to NTC for the WTCS assessment conference. I was able to meet them for dinner and really thank those people. We had about 20 people. It was wonderful. Also attended the DBA meeting with you all at Gateway. Was with you all, Chuck and Betty, for the ambassador dinner, and then stayed overnight because we also had the ISA meeting for the state, which is the instructional supervisor, all the VP of academics. I will be virtual tomorrow on the state board meeting that's happening, and then we have President's Association meeting tomorrow afternoon. And on that WTCS agenda, there's two things that we're paying attention to. One is the link remodeling will be on there for their approval. And then the second thing will be, and I'm very proud of the team on this again, we had wrote for a $200,000 grant through the WTCS to help us with IET, and that is I'm going to say it. Integrated. Thank you. Say that one more time. Integrated Educational Training. There you go. And so that's really our adult basic education department, being able to work with our accounting faculty to really integrate, right? Be able to assist them in their competencies in their accounting program. Only 8 colleges, this was a competitive grant, only 8 colleges are going to receive funding, could have been up to $200,000 for one of the 8. And we did ask for $200,000 and we have been granted $200,000. So we're very, very proud. So again, our programming and our grants team continue to do good things. So that would end my report. A lot going on. And of course, we had a fabulous graduation on Saturday. Weather was not, particularly kind to us, but it's what we do. We try to flex and do what we can. I think we've learned some things. We debriefed this morning. If we continue to do outside, we need to have some porta potties in the parking lot. I mean, there's just some things that we need to adjust and so forth. Probably would not do nursing pinning again, maybe before graduation. Probably we'll go back to maybe afterward. Chris will work with the faculty and just figure out what we need to do there. So, because there was a little bit of a gap then when we moved to the graduation. So, but overall, you'll see pictures on our Facebook and on our social media. I think people there appreciate all the efforts that were done. So, and I don't know if Rick or Betty, if you want to comment at all on graduation. Thank you for both attending and you giving the remarks, Rick.
It was great.
Yeah.
Rain or not, it was fine. Everybody enjoyed it.
People bring umbrellas or?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
But it really wasn't that much of a rain either. Maybe a little drizzle, but
It was just kind of more that irritating rain.
Yeah.
it was
That would
great.
end my report.
Thank you, Shelley.
Yeah, you're welcome, Terry.
On to committee reports, finance and infrastructure. Gordon.
Thanks, Rick. All right, the following reports are for the fiscal year 2023, providing results processed through April 30th, 2023. We'll start out with the consent agenda items, pages 11 through 16, exhibits B, C, and D. We reviewed the consent agenda information and there were no questions or concerns brought forward. If you could be so kind to grab pages 22 through 25. This will be budget notifications for the month, page 22, Exhibit G. Notifications for April facilitate changes related to COVID relief and the Ameta Center construction budgets. With COVID relief and construction starting and funding solidified, budget entries were made to increase revenues $12,226,366 and expenditures $12,109,102. Page 23, budgeted revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund equity portrays our current budget by fund reflecting budget notifications just mentioned. You go to page 24, accrued revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund equity. This document portrays interim changes in fund equity at month end. For the 10 months ending April 30th, the general fund accrued revenues exceed accrued expenditures by 4.4 million, reflecting differences due to timing of revenue inflows and expenditure outflows. The total expenditures for the general fund are 71.7%, below the 10-month completion rate of 83.3%. As of April 30th, the year-to-date revenues for all funds total 66.6 million. To date, 88.9% of the current revenue budget has been recognized or realized. As of April 30th, the year-to-date expenditure for all funds total 55.1 million. To date, this represents 65.5% of the expenditure budget being expended. And if you go to page 25, the combined balance sheet, cash and investments for the month end total 30.8 million. As a summary from what Greg was kind to go through with us this evening, everything is staying status quo. You know, we're right on track for 2023. Any questions? The Finance and Infrastructure Committee reviewed several resolutions that will be presented this evening. The first set of resolutions relate to the fiscal year 2024 financing plan. I want to welcome John Meehan from Baird to provide the board with our fiscal year 2024 long-term financing plan and bond sale. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Presented to you is a brief handout, which I will walk through. Let me first introduce my colleague, Debbie Burnett. Debbie's going to be here for like 2 minutes, and she's going to another room to take a meeting. It starts at 6 o'clock, so that'll be great at least to start. Before I get into my presentation, that was great to hear what Olivia had to say. I don't know if you wanted, because you were there.
Yeah, I was. And sorry, I was. It was a wonderful event, and Olivia represented the district so well. And in my email inbox, she has already sent a thank you recognizing it, and is one of the few so far that have, not saying that, that others didn't. But she was delightful. She had a wonderful story to share, and it was really exciting to see her up here today sharing that with you. So it was great to be a part of it. I'm looking forward to it next year. I said I'm going to be there for sure. And I apologize for having to sneak out. John and I were back there wondering if I could stay. So I just wanted to say that before I had to scoot out. Thank you. Thank you.
To get to the matter at hand, the board will be considering a parameter resolution. This is very similar to what we did last year. And I'll just walk through and answer any questions you may have about the material. You're not the only technical college that looks at parameter resolutions. It all goes to what is the timing, okay? And there's two factors of the timing. One is your June board meeting is on Juneteenth Day. The bond market is closed, so there's no financial activity happening that day. The other is the week before, there's a Fed meeting. And so that's going to factor into a little bit of a timing issue as well. So when we have those items come together, we look and say, is it better to look at doing a parameter resolution, which authorizes us to proceed to the market, to take all the steps that gets us to the market, and then subject to review not only by your bond counsel, Quarles Brady, but ultimately Greg has to sign off a certificate with his life that everything was good. So he's at risk. As far as the parameters resolution as well, we also take a look at it to when we were talking about market volatility. On the bottom of the page, you see this strange little wavy chart here.
Yeah.
Right now, we have what is referred to as an inverted yield curve, where the 1-year municipal bond yield is higher than the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just a real strange market. It slopes down, it comes up, because what investors are expecting is going to happen with interest rates going forward. So that's part of the math, too. On the next page, we have a brief description of the parameters themselves. The resolution says you can't issue more than $6 million. That's the plan. The resolution has a final maturity not past 2033, which is a 10-year issue. That's part of the plan. It also says the first payment is as of March 1 of 24. We're anticipating an interest payment this September of 23 because there should be funds generated from the sale to make that payment. It's the normal premium generated. It also has a call provision at the direction, basically, of Greg, in the sense that we'll go to the market, suggest the last 3 years are callable as of 2030. So the 2031, 32, and 3 can be called at the district's option on March 1 of 2030 or any day thereafter. But we want to see how the market reacts. We may pull back on that if there's financial beneficial reason to. And the last thing is that the interest rates themselves, as the true interest cost, cannot be higher than 5%. As a reference, when we did this last year, I had not to be higher than 4% as true interest cost. Now, as a parameter, you always go higher. The idea is that you have a high parameter and you come within it. Well, that's what happened last year. We had a higher parameter, we came within it. Why 5 versus 4? Interest rates are higher. Interest rates are up. As far as the timing, I believe you have a copy of the timeline as well. And what the timing is that we're working through the process of preparing the offering documents, which we first share with bond counsel, we share with Moody's Investors Service. We conduct a rating with Moody's, and I think that's set for May 25th. I think it'll be a good call. I think, the district is in a solid position. They're a AA1 credit. The highest rating you get is AAA. And I would say to the board, what I would say to the finance committee, it's yours to lose, basically. That you've put yourself in a great position. The rating agencies love that you're in that great position. You'll keep it. So I expect that call will go very well, especially if we report out on how enrollment's going. So, I'm not jumping the gun here, but that'll be part of the discussion they're going to want to know as we go forward. We'll proceed to, on this calendar, I had written down June 12th. It's more likely going to be the week of the 19th that we do the pricing. Just trying to work through the Fed meeting and other things as far as that comes together. And the funds will be provided to the district on July 19th. All in all, what I've covered is included in the parameter resolution, which has been prepared by your bond counsel, Quarles and Brady. I'll be happy to answer the questions the board may have.
See any market impacts with Treasury limit happening in the first week of June anticipated?
Yeah.
Going to do to bond market?
That's a good question. For our market, I don't see it. Okay. And I think for if we were doing an advance refunding where we needed to use treasuries or instruments to set up escrows, that would be a problem. Would really be talking about what do we do next kind of issues. In this case, what I'm saying is there's the market activity is down. So there's buyers that are out there. But what I'm also saying is banks aren't the buyers. They've got enough on their plate. And when you think about what happened with California and how that floods back into the market with paper, it's the banks aren't going to be the buyers on this. Even though it's a AA1, it's bank qualified, there's all the reasons, but they have their own fish to fry. So
Any other questions for John?
You know, they gotta vote now.
Yeah. The resolution?
All right, we have two resolutions related to the financing plan and bond sale. First is a resolution to issue general obligation promissory notes not to exceed 6 million. The resolution is found in Exhibit H, pages 26 through 28B.
I would make a motion to approve those those resolutions in the exhibits named.
I'll second.
Roll call or?
Yes. Charles Spargo,
Yes.
Terry Whitmore,
Yes.
Betty Brusky Malik,
Yes.
Gordon Shallow,
Yes.
Richard Murden.
Yes.
With our next board meeting scheduled on the federal holiday of Juneteenth and the markets being closed, the second resolution is to establish a parameters resolution for the sale of general obligation promissory notes not to exceed 6 million. The resolution is found on pages 29 through 37, Exhibit I. You had time to read through those prior to this evening if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'd seek a motion.
Motion to approve the resolution in Exhibit I.
Second.
Roll call?
Terry Whitmore,
Yes.
Betty Brusky Malik.
Yes.
Gordon Shallow,
Yes?
Charles Spargo.
Yes.
Richard Murden.
Yes.
The Finance and Infrastructure Committee held us.
Gordy, can I just, for 1 second, please?
Yeah, if I could, thank you to indulge me. I thought what Olivia said was wonderful. I thought the board's comments was, I think we've been doing that at Baird for
A long time.
a long time. And I've never been in a board meeting when we've been recognized like that. So
Oh, you're
I that means a great deal to me. And it's a nice segue to say that this is my last board meeting.
I was afraid that was.
Yeah. And Debbie will do a fantastic job. She'll do a great job. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to serve the district. You're a great district, you're a great board, and thank you very much, and thank you for your kind words about Ambassador.
Very welcome.
you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You'll be missed, John.
Thank you.
He's got to take a breath. We're losing too many people here tonight.
Oh.
You couldn't have waited a year.
I was gonna say, don't we have to approve that he's gotta leave?
All right, going forward, the Finance and Infrastructure Committee held a special meeting on May 3rd. The college follows a three-step process for budget approval. First is a special meeting to review the budget information in detail. At the meeting, each executive leadership team member provided information concerning their area of responsibilities and effects on the budget. The meeting concluded with a review of the financial reports. The second step is to resolve that the information presented be available for public review via a notice of public hearing. The third step would be the public hearing prior to the June board meeting. At your seat is a packet of green paper. This contains the budget summary and notice of public hearing. Look at page 1 of the handout, you will notice the property tax mill rate will increase 53 cents per $100,000 home based on a 2% increase in property values. Page 2 of the green handout provides the budget summary for all funds. And then page 3 reviews the general fund by function, and page 4 is a review of the budget by fund with revenues on the top and expenditures on the bottom. Any questions? Hearing none, I make a motion to publish the budget summary and notice of public hearing as shown in Exhibit J on page 39.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second.
Do we need a roll on this?
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
For this item, please reference the blue colored paper. These pages provide the equipment listing for the Amena Center. As you remember, a couple months ago, we presented the financial information for the Amena Center, construction and equipment. However, no action was taken at the time for equipment. Tonight, during our committee meeting, Ryan, Dean of the School of Applied Technology, Brad, and Greg provided a listing of academic equipment, IT equipment and furniture. On the last page of the handout is the funding sources for the listed equipment. The listing provides notes of college funds previously approved in fiscal year 2022, fiscal year 2023 capital budgets. With the supply chain concerns, the college is requesting the approval to purchase the equipment listed with funding sources noted. There is no intent to have additional college borrowing to purchase these items.
Other than what we've already included in the capital budget.
Correct. And we spent time tonight with the blue sheet. And Chuck, I think you kind of asked the question, how much of this stuff is new and how much is being moved? And
Yeah.
it varied with each different,
Program.
yeah. But we felt very comfortable, and again, it's awesome because we came back within our budget. So I think it's all good.
And so much of it, the college team has done a great job of securing grant monies from all over the place. So very little hit to our own capital borrowing needs.
So you think if, when this all started to where we are today, looking for what we all need inside and we're staying on budget, that's awesome. So I make a motion to approve the purchase of the equipment as shown in your handouts.
Second.
Yes, roll call.
Roll call.
Gordon Shallow,
Yes?
Charles Spargo.
Yes.
Terry Whitmore,
Yes.
Betty Bruschi Malik.
Yes.
Richard Murden.
Yes.
Just a few more items. Next order of business is reference the letterhead paper that contains resolutions and results of scoring. This has to do with RFPs. There will be 3 of them. RFP 812, the Amena Center Door Security and Camera Surveillance System. RFP 812 was sent in accordance with procurement standards as prescribed by TCS 38.18. There was one respondent with a score of 90. It's a company we worked with in other aspects of security. So at this time, I would like to make a motion to approve the awarding of RFP 812 Amena Center Door Security and Camera Surveillance System Technologies in the amount of $128,567.
Second.
There's a motion and a second.
Yes, Charles Spargo,
Yes.
Terry Whitmore,
Yes.
Betty Bruschi Malik.
Yes.
Gordon Shallow.
Yes?
Richard Murden.
Yes.
The awarding of RFP 813, the Amena Center Technology and Content related to the community engagement rooms and atrium. RFP 813 was sent in accordance with procurement standards as prescribed by TCS 38.18. This project will provide the technology of video content for the CERs and atrium, highlighted by a 72-panel video wall with zone speakers. And we did quiz Brad, what does this mean for size, which we're really excited about seeing this baby when it's working. It's gonna be what, 16 by 15 or 13 by 16 or something like that? It's gonna be huge.
13 feet, 6 inches high.
So we're gonna be excited to see this when it's finished. It's gonna be a touch panel display with the history of our 30 major donors. This RFP also includes the CNAP gold standard equipment, cameras, lighting controls, and assisted listening solutions for the CERs. The equipment is modeled after the Stevens Point campus CER rooms. There were 3 proposals. A team was assembled and they independently evaluated and scored each proposal. The moderator compiled the data, providing a combined score. The proposal with the best combined score was Brilliant Marketing and Consulting, LLC. They were the highest of the three, but I think they provide us with the least amount of headaches going forward. So I make a motion to approve the awarding of RFP 813, a Meta Center technology and content related to the community engagement rooms and atrium to Brilliant Marketing and Consulting LLC in the amount of $577,817.30.
Second.
Roll call?
Terry Whitmore,
Yes.
Betty Brusky Malik,
Yes.
Gordon Shallow.
Yes.
Charles Spargo.
Yes.
Richard Murden.
Yes.
My final item is the awarding of bid 814, the relocation and remodeling of Stevens Point's link. We were in Point, we talked about the link, if everybody remembers when we were there months back. It was sent in accordance with procurement of public construction under state statute TCS 38.18 and city statute 62.15. This was a sealed bid item with 5 respondents. The respondent with the lowest cost is Bolt Construction. I would like to make a motion to approve the awarding of the bid 814 for the performance of work for the relocation and remodeling of the Stevens Point link to Bolt Construction in an amount of $124,682.
Can I ask about, Eagle was disqualified? What was that basis?
We didn't discuss that at all.
I'll second the motion.
They had 2 items where they did not follow the process and they could not meet the time deadline.
Okay.
August 4th or August 7th.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion and a second.
Betty Brusky Malik.
Yes.
Gordon Shallow.
Yes?
Charles Spargo.
Yes.
Terry Whitmore.
Yes.
Richard Murden.
Yes.
Thank you. This concludes the Finance and Infrastructure Committee meeting report. Back to you, Rick.
Busy meeting.
That was a busy one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see where we are. Okay, Academic and Student Services Committee, who's taking that one?
Me.
Okay, Betty.
I didn't have anybody to argue with, so
Oh.
things went
argue
smoothly
with us.
tonight. But I had great support from Dr. Deb Stenzel, Dr. Chris Severson, and Dr. Mandy Lang. So we had informational items tonight, and we have a lot. The first one is regarding Phi Theta Kappa, and Dr. Deb and Dr. Chris reported that Phi Theta Kappa is the oldest and the most prestigious honor society serving 2-year colleges. Mid-State chapter of Phi Theta Kappa was established in 2017 and is one of 26 chapters in Wisconsin. Our chapter is known as Beta Chi Theta and is supported by 2 faculties, both from our communications faculty, Jill Quinn and Desiree Melby. Students are invited to join when they have completed 6 credits of a technical diploma program or 12 credits of an association degree program with a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or above. The students must maintain a 3.0 cumulative GPA to remain a member. Over the last 3 years, Mid-State's chapter has grown by over 50 members each year and now is at 312 active members and 126 alumni members. Members are inducted in the spring induction ceremony and are able to wear their gold Phi Theta Kappa honors at graduation.
There's quite a few of them.
There were
Yeah.
quite a
Yeah,
few of
yeah.
them, yes. Each chapter is led by an executive board of 3 to 8 student members who lead this chapter in completing 2 projects each year. 2 projects each year.
Cool.
One is a college project. The students work with the administration to complete a project on campus that furthers Mid-State's mission. Last year, they developed a multilingual welcome sign for each of the 4 campuses. This year, they developed a free consulting at Mid-State card, which was presented at the beginning of the semester in the welcome bags, and a 5-minute self-care tip bookmark dispensed during exam week. So the second project is the Honors in Action project. This is a project set for all chapters by the international organization and ends with students collaborating with community partners in a service or awareness project related to their research findings. Last year, they researched causes of and ways to end polarization and organized and led a panel discussion with 4 community members for a mid-state ethics class. Members can attend 2 statewide conferences per year and an annual national conference. Midstate has hosted 3 of these conferences, one at the Stevens Point campus in June of 2018, and 2 were virtual in the spring and fall of 2021. 3 Midstate students have also volunteered and have been elected for regional officer positions in the last 3 years. Students also submit completed college and honors in action projects to achieve a 5-star status from the International PTK organization. Midstate's chapter achieved 5-star status for 3 out of 6 years. The chapter will meet now with Dr. Mondyke soon to select a college project for the next year. A very active organization on campus, very active. Our second item was with Dr. Mandy Lang again regarding out-of-state and out-of-state tuition remission and out-of-state annual request. These are informational items again. The out-of-state tuition remission annual summary. It's a required reporting form. And the first item is the 23 out-of-state tuition remission annual summary. The college has the ability to remit out-of-state tuition for needy and worthy students. The Midstate District Board has designated Dr. Mandy Lang to be the authority reporting for our college. We are required to report on this annually to the board. And we haven't remitted out-of-state tuition since we stopped our athletic programs, which was more than 15 years ago. We didn't plan any remitted tuition for this year, and we didn't end up having any. And then also the out-of-state remission annual request. As with the annual summary, we are also required to submit any requests to the board for the upcoming year. So the second item is the request for the upcoming year FY24. Based on recent history with not having any needy and worthy out-of-state students, the college is not requesting to remit any out-of-state tuition for the 23-24 academic year. And we don't have to take action on either of those. Our third item for information was our student headcount information. We are currently up over 20% in our headcount for this year. The numbers aren't final yet, but the college wanted to share some of the information about where those increases are coming from. With where we are right now, we believe we're going to end the year with above 8,000 students, the highest in over 10 years. Every campus is up in headcount, ranging from 10% at Wisconsin Rapids to 67%. This says in Adams, but it's Adams Friendship.
Thank you.
It is Adams Friendship?
It is Adams Friendship. Each school is also up except for the School of Health, which is down across the state. The majority of the increase is coming from continuing education. A few things that have contributed to this include the DEI training with some of the area businesses, around 300. We also had, I have to turn my page here. It's not going well. Dedicated focus on our conferences, mental health awareness with Joe Reed. We had over 400 attending. And then the Adams County Officers Association Conference. It just says Adams County, not Adams Friendship. And the quality continuing education courses, the culinary classes doing doing very well with over 200 enrolled this year. Headcount will likely be one of the main metrics moving forward because it shows we're serving our community in multiple ways. And that ends my report, unless you have questions for Dr. Mandy, Dr. Deb, or Dr. Chris.
Very thorough report, thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Onto the Human Resources and External Relations Committee. We met tonight. We had no consent agenda items. We had 3 informational items. First was the work from home program. You have some data at your site on that. Let's see. With the new policy, 37 people applied and were approved for the work from home program. That's 17% of the population. 22 of those 37 are proposing to work 1 day per week from home. And the policy is structured so that it's a recurring day. So you may pick the Monday or the Wednesday or the Friday or whatever, but so that everybody knows which day you're going to be working from home. The survey information from the employees that were surveyed, 90% were very satisfied or somewhat satisfied with the current work from home arrangement. And the managers were also surveyed, and 75% were either very satisfied or somewhat satisfied with the current process. So some very good feedback in that the program is working well, and I guess relatively mid-pack in terms of all the colleges in terms of how much uptake in that program.
Yeah, I think we've been really fortunate that our employees were just thankful that we were able to offer some work from home options. There's no employee that is able to be work from home for all 5 days. We very much wanted to keep our engagement, and I think we just believe we're a customer service organization, and I really need to applaud Karen for her efforts. I think she really put out a great program, and you can see relatively, a third of our people are taking advantage of it. So again, it's not something that everybody's taking advantage of, because we very simply have said there are many positions here that we could not offer any days. So just a kudos to all the managers. I mean, it's their managers that are managing the program, and we said we would do it for this year, and then we said we would do a survey and really make that decision if we will continue it. And I think where ELT is right now is we believe we want to continue it. We're not looking at expanding it, but we're happy with the program that we have. And again, if somebody wants their position to be evaluated, there's a process that they have to fill out a form, and then there's a review that is done and so forth. But just kudos to the executive team. I think coming off of COVID and being able to offer something really went well to our employees. And you can see overall they're pleased, and I think managers, they're learning something to try to manage some of those employees, but I think they're doing a good job overall.
There was one interesting anecdote, and that was that a recent hire was working from home 100% and was pursuing a position here at Midstate because they didn't want to work from home any longer. So, the pendulum swings.
Yes, I'm proud of the team, because I think so many colleges did that reaction, because again, they were worried about losing their workforce, that they really did. You said the pendulum, they went way over here, and I know now some of our colleges, even in our system, are trying to bring it back, and that is not being very popular with a lot of the workforce. So I think we did the same thing that we had done during COVID. We didn't do knee jerk. Even our COVID protocols, we tried to keep stability. And so I think we've achieved that as a team.
Don't overcorrect and end up in the ditch, right?
Yes, you try not to. Sometimes the ditch moves, Rick, but we do our best. We do our best.
Good advice, Rick.
Second item was a meta update, and I believe we have a video.
Yes. Good.
Welcome to Midstate Technical College's Wayne H. Bushman Advanced Manufacturing, Engineering Technology, and Apprenticeship Center. The Ameta Center was a grassroots project to build and equip a destination training center conveniently located just off I-39 in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. This center aims to address local workforce needs by building a pipeline of relevantly skilled workforce for years to come. The Ameta Center brought together over 125 financial contributors from across the nation, including local, state, and national support. Significant contributors have branding throughout the center reflecting their support of the project. The center includes 10 classrooms, 3 conference spaces, and 4 state-of-the-art labs supporting engineering technology, welding, machining, and automation and controls careers. The center also includes several student-focused spaces, including the Gene Haas Foundation-sponsored atrium. The Ameta Center is currently under construction and will be open to students fall of 2024.
Did you notice that there were 321 chairs in that?
I didn't get them all in, but it was close.
They were there.
But did you recognize the voiceover?
Yes.
Carol Bobby, yeah.
Yay, Bobby.
Did you recognize the 72 panels in the first, for the one wall?
I did.
Hopefully not.
We knew that was coming.
You're on there. Yeah, it looked like one.
And at your site, you have an update from Findorf with some pictures of some of the earth movement and then some of the concrete going into place. So continued progress there. Our third information item was the Watt Grant update. There was $4 million in the WTCS budget for the Watt grants statewide. Mid-State submitted 6 grant applications to serve 25 businesses covering 922 employees. The total for the 6 grants was $200,000, which would represent half of the training costs for those programs. And those programs ranged from leadership, manufacturing, safety, allied health, and technical skills. And if Mid-State were to get all 6 of those applied for grants, Watt grants, that would equate to 28 FTEs. So great job on putting together those grants, and we'll hope that we get the bulk of those. That's all I have from the Human Resources. We did not have a committee of the whole tonight, and we moved item K up. So right now, I would be willing to entertain a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into closed session. Roll call?
Charles Spargo,
Yes.
Gordon Shallow.
Yes.
Terry Whitmore.
Yes.
Betty Brusky Malik.
Yes.
Richard Murden.
Yes. Okay. I'd entertain a motion to come out of closed session.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to come out of the closed session. Is that a roll call thing?
It is
Okay.
Gordy,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes. Okay, we're out of closed. The board went into closed session to talk about some potential purchase of public properties. With that being said, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.